Hi everyone, welcome back to the Mad Legit Gamers YouTube channel. And if this is your first time, just a little backstory on Mad Legit Gamers. We are a Madden league. We are CFM. We've been together for about 10 years total, um, and we are coming back for the Madden 23 cycle on PS5. And we'll be putting out content probably weekly. Up until Madden releases, and then again we'll be streaming all our games and posting highlights and things of that nature for you guys to tune in. For this video though, I wanted to create a video going over why it's important to identify the strengths of your team. So as we know, we're getting closer, what, 2 weeks out, actually 10 days out from release. So everyone probably knows by now which CFM team they're going to be for the cycle. Um, so with knowing that, we can already plan out our offensive and defensive schemes that we're going to be using, right? Because you can use the website, you can look at the release day attributes for all your players, and you can kind of get an idea of what your strengths and weaknesses are going to be. Um, so for this video, what I want to do is I want to take my team for Mad Legit Gamers, which is going to be the Atlanta Falcons, and I want to go over their strengths and weaknesses a little bit, and then um, break down what I think I may do with my offensive and defensive scheme. I think this is a good video for those who maybe got issued a team that they're not sure what they want to do with yet. And if you do have questions, or if you need some help figuring out, okay, I'm new to this team, never used this type of team before. What kind of offense, what kind of defense does it suit best, right? If you have those type of questions, please leave those in the comments below, and I can look at them and try to help you figure something out. Alright guys, so as I said, for this video we're going to be breaking down my Atlanta Falcons. They're not the best CFM team to start with, of course, this year. They're probably honestly near the bottom. But they do have some bright spots, especially young guys on offense, that I think you can build around and be competitive. Starting off with the quarterbacks, we have Marcus Mariota, of course. He's only 27, will be 28 for Madden 23, so he's a little on the older side for development. He's only a 70 overall. He's got really good speed. So I'm thinking personally he is going to be my CFM backup to Ritter, because they have very similar attributes, but Ritter has a better arm. And of course he's only 22, so a lot of time to develop him. These guys are both speedy. They don't have the best accuracies, right? Ritter's got pretty decent throw power, good speed, like I said. But other than that, you got a lot of work to do there at the quarterback position. So we got to come up with an offensive scheme that isn't heavily reliant on the quarterback's arm. So moving on to halfbacks, we have Cordero Patterson, who is a superstar halfback. He's probably the best pass catching halfback on the game. So there's another box for us right there. We got a really good elite pass catching halfback. We do have a rookie in Tyler Algier from BYU. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to be rated at, but for now, just know we have a good pass catching halfback. All right. So moving on to the wide receivers here, as you can see, we have Calvin Ridley, who is not going to be suspended for our CFM, right? So he's going to be a day one starter. He's only 26. He's pretty developed. He's 85 overall right now, 93 speed, so he's on the quicker side. He's 6'1", and he can block pretty well, so he's got good run blocking. We also have Brian Edwards. He's a younger wide receiver, only 22 years old, but already a 77 overall. So at that, I mean, that was a good young receiver on the outside. So he's 6'3", got some range to him, decent catching attributes. Definitely need to work on his route running. But he's got one of the best run blocking attributes on the game at 61, which is pretty high. And these are things that you kind of want to take into account when you're trying to develop your scheme on the offensive side. And then we have rookie Drake London. He is another tall, big-bodied receiver at 6'4". He's going to come in with pretty good speed, pretty good. I think he may be probably the highest rated rookie wide receiver. He was the first receiver taken in the draft. So you got some decent bright spots here. You got some depth. You got Demir Bird, who's going to be another slot receiver that you can use. Yeah, so you got a little bit of depth there. Nothing crazy stands out here. Calvin Ridley's pretty good. He's not the best receiver, but he's pretty good. But the brightest spot on this offense is you got Kyle Pitts. He's only 20 years old. You're going to have him for the whole CFM. I don't know why you would ever trade a guy like this. He's 86 overall already, 91 speed. Really great catching attributes, really great route running already for a tight end. He's going to be a playmaker for you. And you can line him up anywhere on the field pretty much. You can line him up in the backfield. You can line him up in the slot. You can line him up out wide. He's just a overall freak, right? So you got one really good tight end. The rest of them are nothing really to talk about. You do have John Fitzpatrick from Georgia. He's a younger tight end. Maybe you could develop him into a decent secondary starter. But other than that, nothing really to talk about else at tight end. Then you have offensive linemen. So we have Jake Matthews, who's been on the team for a while. He's decent. Nothing wrong with him. He's a left tackle. He is 29 years old though, so you do have to start looking at that as you get throughout the cycle. You got Jalen Mayfield that just took this year. Not exactly sure what his attributes are going to be, but he was pretty decently rated. You got Matt Hennessy at center. He is 1 year, so that was a pick from last season, or early pick from last season. Decent center. You should be fine there for the entirety of your CFM, unless you want to make a huge upgrade. Right guard, you got Chris Lindstrom. He young guy, 82 overall already, which is good. So you do have a bright spot there at right guard. Right tackle though, you don't really have much. You got Caleb McGarry, he's only 26, and you got Ifadi, Jermaine Ifadi. He he's not good, but he's good depth. So you got decent depth there at right tackle. Nothing really to write home about. Uh, All right, guys. So now we're gonna move on to defense. And Atlanta right now, it's set up to run a 3-4 defense. You got Marlon Davidson here at left end, young guy, for 1 year experience out of Auburn. He's pretty decent, like base attributes. He's got 71 speed, 80 acceleration at 303 pounds. Not terrible. His strength's a little low. Block shedding's a little low, but not terrible. Good hit power, good pursuit, good tackle attributes. Impact blocks pretty good as well. So not a bad piece in Marlon Davidson here at left end, but you could look to upgrade. But yeah, just as we go through this defense, just realize they are currently set up for a 3-4. You got Grady Jarrett at right end at 305, 305 pounds. He's kind of slower, 69 speed, 84 acceleration. He's already 28 as well, so he's getting on the the later end of his career, I would say, especially in CFM terms. 91 strength, play rec's really high, block shed's really high, impact blocks really high. He's the bright spot of that defensive line for the Falcons. So this is really your main piece here. Moving on to defensive tackle, we have Vincent Taylor. Not very good. He's a 4-year veteran. We got a couple of other guys in here, but really nothing to write home about here at defensive tackle. So this would be an immediate upgrade position for me if I'm the Falcons. I would definitely be targeting either a trade for a defensive tackle or some sort of upgrade. If you wanted to go the route of moving these guys to a 4-3, which we may do after looking over this defense, we may want to move them to a 4-3 based on what we have at linebacker. So let's see. All right, so we took Arnold from Penn State with our second round pick, I believe, this year. A lot of people have him rated as the #1 pass rusher out of the draft, which is good for the Falcons. I'm not sure exactly how he's going to be rated on Madden 23 yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty good. He's going to have good speed, good strength. Definitely a decent pass rusher. We got Deion Jones at middle linebacker. Freak athlete, 26 years old, so younger guy that you're going to have. He's really the staple of your defense here. Good coverage ratings and all that. We do have a rookie from Montana State and Troy Anderson. He is a speedy middle linebacker, so probably a decent user middle linebacker here that you can rank up pretty quickly and get him usable, right? And then on right outside linebacker, I believe he's actually a middle linebacker currently on the rosters. Only 25 years old. Rashaan Evans, another young guy that you could definitely probably move him over to right outside linebacker, depending on what type of scheme we're going to be using. And we're looking for, honestly, what I would be looking for here and what I am looking for here is a good pass rusher from the outside linebacker position. Because if we got a good pass rusher, what we can do is we can drop them down the defensive end. Someone that fits that build, we could drop them down the defensive end, and then maybe we could switch to a 4-3. So Rashaan Evans is only 6'2", 232. Our other guy, he is 6'2", 250. So I believe Rashawn's a little too undersized to be a defensive end. He is for sure. Maybe one of the other guys, but it's just not looking good here for left outside linebacker / defensive ends. So we're pretty good with coverage linebackers here. We got a couple of decent ones. We got Rashaan Evans. He's more of like a tackling linebacker, right? More run stopper, middle linebacker. So yeah, there's something to really figure out here at linebacker. Moving on to cornerback, we have Casey Hayward, which the Falcons just signed. He was one of the better corners in real life last year, so he's going to come into Madden 23 pretty good rated, pretty highly rated. He's not the speediest guy, but he does have really good play rec, really good zone coverage, good man coverage, good press, good catch, all that, the whole nine there. AJ Terrell, I believe, is going to come into this Madden 23 as one of the highest rated cornerbacks as well. He had a really good year last year in real life. So you're starting off with two really good corners here. Then you have Isaiah Oliver. Really hasn't developed yet. He's only 24 years old, and he is someone that I would be looking to develop just based on his size, good catch. He's got decent coverage skills already. Really good jumping as well, 95 jump. So I would be looking to maybe put him on the outside with AJ Terrell probably, and then putting maybe Casey Hayward in the slot, and then as the nickel corner, and then running a zone scheme. It looks like based on their speed and their intangibles here. But yeah, other than that, I mean, you got some rookies. I don't know exactly how they're going to come in rated for Madden 23, but these are going to be your top, your best three corners here. Nothing really great at safety here. You do have Richie Grant, who's going to be a rookie this year. He's probably going to be the starter. Pretty good catch, pretty good hit power. We'll see how he's rated on Madden 23. But for Richie Grant, I would definitely start him over Eric Harris, as they're similar, similar overall probably coming into the game. And Richie Grant's only 23 compared to the other guy that's 31, right? And then at strong safety, again, one of those positions where you really don't have anything at all. nothing really to work with. You got Jalen Hawkins, who's 1 year out of Cal, and he's probably going to be your starter here. He's got good hit power, good catching, uh, better zone coverage than the guy that's way older than him. So for the now for us to pick our scheme. So based on what we saw on the Falcons offense, we have, speedy quarterback, not great arms. We have a pass catching halfback. We have a young O line, not very developed, a couple decent O linemen, but we're going to have to get the ball out quick if we play against a good pass rush team. Um, we don't really have much at wide receiver. We have Calvin Ridley right, and we got two really tall possession type receivers. Um, so I'm thinking personally, I would play Calvin Ridley in the slot, and then put the two tall guys on the outside as those possession type receivers. Drake London may have a little bit of speed too, so he may be able to take the top off the defense a little bit. But we'll just have to see. I mean, it's going to take a lot of development to get him to where he needs to be to contribute on a regular basis. But we do have a great tight end in Kyle Pitts that we can move around. He should never leave the field, really, if possible. So we got a good little base here. So what I would personally do with this team, and it's something that I'm comfortable with, especially starting out with such a young slash underdeveloped team, is a spread to run offense. So not a spread to pass, not like an air raid style offense, but a spread to run offense. So what that means is we're going to be getting the ball out quick on our passing concepts. We're going to be running. We're going to be starting with the run though. We're going to be focused on running the ball. We're going to be hat counting in the box. If we have the advantage, we're going to take it. We're going to run the ball as much as possible until we can get these guys developed. We are going to throw screens. We're going to throw quick, easy passes that can kind of keep our offense in rhythm. As we do not have elite arm talent, so it's something that you got to take in consideration when picking your offensive scheme. So yes, for the offense, we're going to start off with a spread offense, and we're going to go ahead and pick that in the menu, put that as our scheme, offensive spread. That way, our guys in the CFM, we can start building them toward fitting the archetypes, right? So that we can get more XP and progress our guys a little faster. For defense, this one's a tough one. So we have a good middle linebacker, some decent middle linebackers there with Rashad Evans and Jones. So really, I think we got to stick with a 3-4 for now, just because we don't have any defensive ends that are linebackers that could change the defensive end to fit a 4-3 scheme. We don't really have anyone interior wise that we can move around that much. We got Tyler Davidson and Grady Jarrett. So it just depends. So preseason here, if we can get a decent defensive end, decent pass rusher, we would probably switch to a 4-3 with this team. Put that pass rush on the outside with the rookie pass rusher, and then we'd have Davidson and Grady Jarrett on the inside. Then we have Jones and our other linebackers back there, which I think honestly that's probably the move. So if you do have the Falcons in your CFM, you probably want to go after either one, if you want to stick with a 3-4, go after a defensive tackle, nose tackle, bigger bodied, decent defensive tackle in a trade, or you want to go after a pass rusher. That way you can, smooth those guys around and mold them to a 4-3. So for now, we're gonna stick with the disguise 3-4, and the reason for that is me personally. When I'm running a defense, I like it to be symmetrical. I like it to not really show you what I'm doing. I want to be able to disguise my coverages as best as Madden allows me to, and I know Madden 23 added a few disguise coverages, so that should help. But with this team, I'm going to base out of 3-4, run a 3-4 cover 3 scheme most likely, off rip. Alright guys, I know this video is a little longer than my normal ones. I don't really like running this long, but this is going to be at least a two-part series. The next phase of this is going to be building this offensive scheme for the Falcons from scratch. We're going to do that in 3 phases, 3 installs. The first install is going to be putting in our core concepts, so our core running concept and our core quick game, core drop back concept, and then phase 2 will be putting in those complementary concepts that go with those, and then phase 3 will be adding in the screens and the different wrinkles into our offense to really finish the playbook, and that's going to be, and then after that, probably part 3 will be actually using that playbook in the 3 different phases and showing you guys like how to get into a rhythm and how to learn your playbook. I think that's very useful going into Madden 23, where everyone's going to have new teams, everyone's going to have to build an offense around those new teams. So yeah, thanks for tuning in guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and